Welcome to our this podcast. We're anddragons. Hi, I'm Claire.
Hi, I'm Mia. I'm a
Oh, I'm
guest.
this way. This is Mia. Normally we have Michaelie here. Normally Michaelie's name. I can't. This mirrored screen thing is confusing me so much. Nope, it's this one. Normally Michaelie is here, but she is lost in a dust storm currently, and she's literally in a. They're driving through a dust storm in New Mexico right now, so she's literally in the midst of something. So we have Mia on here to sub in for Michaelie and build a D&D character with us today because that's what we do on And Dragons. We walk through D&D character creation.
I'm so excited. Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. And actually, this is going to be a super fun episode, I think, because not only is Mia our wonderful friend, but she also has a different experience with Dungeons and Dragons than we do. Would you like to tell us a little bit about what is how long and what is D&D for you?
Um, how long have I been playing or how long have I cared about D&D? Because those are two different numbers.
Let's do both. Why not?
So caring about D&D has been March, April, May, June. I guess like 4 or 5-ish months when I started listening to the Adventure Zone Balance, which is a D&D podcast. But I've only been playing D&D for 2 weeks. I only just did my second session of my first campaign ever. I've only made one D&D character. This is going to be my second, technically. So I'm super excited.
I'm
I
so
really like
pumped.
D&D.
It's
I'm
very good.
so
It's very good.
I'm so excited. It's very fun. I feel like I have so much catching up to do because everyone else in my life is very involved with D&D and has been playing for such a long time, or cared for such a long time. And I feel like I have to like race to catch up and learn everything that I can so that I can be on par. But it's so fun. I love it here.
I'm very glad. Honestly, I'm just happy that so many people in my life are learning more about D&D and are wanting to learn more about D&D. So I'm glad that you're here and that maybe we can build a character that you haven't. Who knows what the dice will tell us today, but maybe the character will be nothing like the one that you have, which would be super cool.
It would be, but it could also be everything like the one that I have, and that would be even funnier.
Yeah, honestly, every week I keep thinking we're bound to roll a character that makes no sense or that's not connected to anything, that there's like literally nothing that either of us understands, but somehow every week it all makes sense. And it might even like the dice seem to be in cahoots or something and they like want this character to make sense every single week. Like it last week we made a character that was basically D&D Anakin Skywalker and I still am just I'm confused, but it's okay. It's good confusion for sure. But yeah, so I'm
I'm
just gonna run through some disclaimers real quick. Uh, who knows if they're super important or not, but here I am saying them anyway for to disclaim all of you people who might want them. All right, so first off, we're not affiliated with Wizards of the Coast. That's the like official company that makes all the official Dungeons and Dragons content. Um, oh my gosh, I'm looking at these disclaimers and I'm like, oh, that is a disclaimer. um, yeah, so we're talking about Dungeons and Dragons today. We're gonna be walking through character creation, story building, and Dungeons and Dragons is a fantasy world, and the themes can sometimes be a little bit on the darker side. Our characters might not be the happiest people in the world. They can be, but they might have gone through some more difficult experiences. And sometimes it's going to be silly, but I just ask that everyone be respectful and mindful that some experiences that you have your character go through in D&D is kind of related to real life because D&D is you can like pour yourself into it and get really attached to your characters and relate to their experiences too. So just beware of the darker themes but also be mindful and respectful of all these fun characters. Yes. And the last thing is just FYI that this podcast looks real cute. Really cute and adorable and great. However, we're also like young people and stuff, and we curse sometimes. So just be warned that this is not 200% wholesome. It's maybe 100% wholesome. Maybe not 200 though.
I like how you're gonna say we are in our 20s, like I'm not barely 20. That's not true. I turned 21 pretty soon, but I'm a baby comparison.
Honestly, I almost said the 20s. You're right, but then my brain was like, wait, I have not asked Mia how old she is in a while. I can't remember. It's fine.
Yes,
it's whatever.
Just in the very beginning of my 20s.
The very beginning, which also counts. Totally 100% counts. Like,
I'm just at that point still where pretending it's not happening, like I'm not in my 20s.
Right.
So I don't think about it.
But either way, there might be some cursing and stuff. Who knows? I don't know. But yeah, those are the major disclaimers, as if they're the most important things ever to be said. Not true. But I guess we can get started. So we'll be rolling for a character. We go in a certain order, which we'll explain as we go. There's a lot of ways to build characters. This is not the only way to build a Dungeons and Dragons character or any sort of character. But one thing to note is that we actually we don't like to make decisions. So we will be rolling for literally everything. Partly because of the decisions thing, but also because dice are really cute and beautiful and stuff. And that's another reason. It's another reason to do D&D. Like, I know Mia has a lot of dice to show off. If you want to show them off now, you can. I was going to show my favorite one is this one that I have.
I'm so scared to move them because they're really... Ooh, that's gorgeous.
It's chunky.
It's so pretty. It looks like a storybook. I'm so scared to move them because they're so prepared for the stream today. I got them ready so early. But I can't show the newest D20 from a set that I got. I'm trying to do like the makeup thing. How do you... Like this? Okay.
I think so. Ooh, that one's really pretty.
I got it recently.
And actually, Mia, you said that you've only been playing D&D for 2 weeks?
Yes.
And how many dice do you have?
I have 13 sets of dice. I started collecting dice way before I started playing D&D. Part of the reason that we started actually playing is because me and my best friend, who also collects dice now, have so many dice that haven't been put to use. And we were like, hey, maybe we should use them. Now we have a campaign that we're playing. So that's
absolutely
been super
fun. Amazing. Okay. I didn't mean to call you out on your dice collection. I just really love it so much. No, it makes me so happy.
People do, so it's totally okay.
Awesome. Okay, so last week I was very unhinged the whole time, but this week I'm on the hinge. So yeah. But the most unhinged part of our entire time is going to be this transition that we're about to do. So are you ready for the transition, Mia?
Always.
Okay. And we're gonna go on the transition now. This is music. It's true. And we're back! Wow, that was honestly the smoothest transition I've ever done.
Excellent. Jazz hands.
If I can even say that. Which I will. So this is what we call our character cheat. It's just a shortcut version of all the stuff that we will be going through. If you look at it, it doesn't have all of the information that's needed to play a Dungeons and Dragons character, But don't worry about that. It's just so that we can focus on what's here, and then we'll build on it as we go. But the first thing we're going to roll for, actually, is our character's race. So if I could get you to roll a D100, Mia.
39.
39? Okay.
Yes. I rolled some pretty pink dice that actually glow in the dark. They have glow in the dark spec. Take these in case you wanted to know. I have, if you are in the awesome area, which I totally am not because that's a safety hazard. But if you are, totally recommend going to Dragon's Lair, which is where I've gotten most of my dice. This is not like sponsored in any way. I just really like Dragon's Lair.
Yeah. So actually this I will say with all of the rolling that we're doing, we do have a Michaelie made like a big table for all of this that we've been adding and changing as we find more sources and that sort of thing. So there's some cool stuff on here, but there's also one of my favorite races is on here, and we rolled for it, and it's only because I like to say it a different way. But if we remember back to our first episode, we had a hobgoblin of the Feywild. This week we have a hobgoblin. Just a regular hobgoblin. After we made that character, which if you were here, it was Quilliam Quirty. Our lovely poor Quilliam, who was, I think, chaotic evil, but was rightly so. They were accused of murder.
Lots of trauma they had.
So much. But they were of the Feywild, so a regular hobgoblin. After what I was gonna say though, after that episode, I just kept thinking about the word hobgoblin, and anytime I consider it now, it's hobgob. Like it's nothing else. It's only It's only hobgob. There's no other way to describe a hobgoblin except thinking of it as a hobgob.
Arguably, I think it's better. I think the Wizards of the Coast should make that an update. If they ever make a 6th edition, they should just update it. It should just be hobgob. Hobgoblin's a mouthful.
Hobgoblin is a mouthful. They are actually, let's see. So some information about hobgoblins. Looking at these like yellow bubbles, they hold our ability scores. And we'll get into what this means more, but for now, we're just going to note that hobgoblins get a +2 to Constitution and a +1 to Intelligence. We're
very
also
cool.
medium-sized, which I feel like that I only write that down on my sheets, and I'm always like, I don't know what this is for. It's for stuff. There's mechanical things it's used for, but I don't know.
What does medium mean in the grand scheme of things? Giants exist in this universe.
That's so true. And tiny exists too.
Exactly.
Tiny. But our speed is 30 feet, which is standard. That's how much we can move in combat. So in the span of 6 seconds, that's how far we can go. We've got regular lifespan to humans. Cool. So, when you're making a character, sometimes it'll tell you like, this is what the alignment for this character's race is, according to the lore. I personally don't care about that so much. It's making a character, making your own story sort of thing. I guess if you're gonna look at the lore and there's so much like pre-written information for Dungeons and Dragons about how things work. I mean, sure, but like,
Yeah, who
Who
cares?
knows?
It's your
Who knows if our
character.
hobgoblin's gonna be lawful? Who knows? Not us. Not yet. Not till we roll for it later.
It can be anything.
Exactly. Exactly.
I'm thinking about
Okay.
I'm thinking about the Barbie girl theme, and now I'm thinking
Yeah.
about like what if that was the theme for Dungeons and Dragons and character creation? Just be who you want to be. D and D.
Oh, that was really good.
Cute. Wouldn't that be so cute? I
It
think.
would be so cute. I would love what I know there's got to be so much like lore in the Barbie world, right?
Oh, so
There's
much. Probably as much as D&D probably has, or more.
that would be a fun campaign to play in the in the in the Barbie world verse, the Barbie verse.
The Barbie.
I don't know.
Excellent. I love it.
Oh, now I'm thinking about that only. What would you play if you were in Barbie verse?
Anything. Be who you want to be.
That's so true. That's so true. Wow. Well, coming back because I always forget to come back. um, we have dark vision, which I feel like most Dungeons and Dragons characters have dark vision. Just means that we can see in the dark, kind of like we can see in dim light, 60 feet around as if it's bright. I feel like the only people who don't have that are humans, probably. I don't know.
Is that true fact? I wouldn't know. It could be true fact.
It feels pretty accurate. Chat, does anyone have any qualms with that? That that's false or not? I don't know.
Yeah, if there's another race in D&D other than humans that can't see and doesn't have dark vision, please let us know. I don't know whether or not this is to be true fact. I don't know the lore
Let's
yet.
see if I can. I feel like there's probably at least one, but I'm not sure.
I don't know.
So,
I feel like it's gonna be like a random one, and then we're gonna like find out. And we're gonna go, oh, of
oh, that makes
course.
sense. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, I guess maybe some like some more unique ones might not. I feel like all the characters I've had though have had dark vision. I could be totally wrong and be forgetting so much, but oh well.
Everyone
So
in my party has dark vision, so maybe I'm just
yeah, I feel
blessed.
like when everyone has it, it's less. I guess that maybe with the DMs that I've had, they don't like point it out as much if they know at least like two of us have it.
Yeah.
It's not a big concern, sort of thing. But moving along, we have as a hobgoblin, as a hobgob. Such a silly word. We have martial training, so that means that we are proficient with two martial weapons of our choice with light armor. Oh, and so two martial weapons and then also light armor we are proficient with. So, I hear a decision there that I don't want to make. Let me
So
see.
do I
What
roll
we
some?
will. Yes. For martial weapons, could you roll another, or actually, could you roll a d20?
Yes, I can. I got an 8.
An 8. Okay, so actually, I think that's two. Can you roll another d20 as well?
20.
Can you roll again?
Oh no.
I know.
A 4 now.
A 4. Okay, so we are proficient with a great axe and a longsword.
Very cool.
Cool, cool, cool.
I do want to say it's very cool that I rolled a nat 20. Despite it not doing
Is. It is, and some of most of these things on these charts, the highest number is a roll again, and that makes me sad. I feel like the one. It's got to be the one.
I agree. I agree. We have some comments in chat about all of the races that do not have dark vision.
Thank you so much. I knew there were so many. There are
It
so
is
many. You're right.
humans, halflings, dragonborn. I don't know how to say this race. but you can read it in chat. Genasi and Goliaths, they all do not have dark vision.
I think it's now that there's so many ways to pronounce so many things. Aarakocra, the birds.
I don't want to cry. Fantasy names are so complicated.
Truly, truly. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Let's see. Oh, and we also have proficiency with light armor. Just gonna note that down. Just write the short. Oh no. I'm so bad at spelling, it's fine. Okay, we're proficient with those. And then we also have something called Saving Face, which we're careful not to show weakness in front of our allies because we don't want to lose status. So if we miss an attack roll or fail an ability check or a saving throw, we gain a bonus to the roll equal to the number of allies we can see within 30 feet of us, with a max bonus of 5.
Wow, that's so cool.
We use that it like recharges after a short or long rest. So
We'll use it once per short rest?
yes.
Cool.
That's so cool.
Stay hydrated, friends, if you're watching the stream,
Absolutely,
by the way.
absolutely.
Water is very important.
So that makes me feel like so in this thread so far, it sounds like our hobgoblin and hobgoblins in general, we care about what other people think of us. So
yeah.
Whether that's a noble reason or otherwise, as we keep going, I guess we'll can keep that in mind as we continue. All right, and and for our languages, we just know Common and Goblin, which
very cool.
That makes sense. Oh, I can't listen. My brain might not be unhinged today, but I might not be unhinged today, but my brain is still chaos. It's fine.
It's a little disconnected, if you will.
I certainly will. Goblin. Amazing. Alright. Let's see. Up next, we will be rolling for our background. Let me just make sure I don't think there's any subrace for a hobgoblin, but I do want to be sure.
Yes, I do think our hobgoblin is a bilingual legend so far. Thanks, chat.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Okay, yeah. Let's roll for our background, which will be a D100 again.
Oh, lovely. I'm going to do a different D100 combo. So I'm combining my percentile 10. So I have a question. How big does this list go?
How does the what go?
How big does this list go? Because I think I just rolled 104.
Wait, hold on. Wait.
I don't know what's happening. Do I know how to do math? Claire, do I know how to do math?
Yeah.
Does this mean 100? Or does it mean 0?
You rolled a 0, 0, and a 4?
Correct. Would that be 4 or 104?
I think it's 4. It's got to be 4, which is...
That's what I'm saying. Math doesn't work like that. However, this also means 100.
I've rolled both a 1 and a 100 on this, on the percentile, and I still could get confused, but I'm pretty sure that's a 4. So,
cool, it's a 4. No math involved. It's a 4.
No math involved. All right. Okay, that means that you'll never guess, the one that's at the beginning of the alphabet. We're an acolyte. Woo!
So super cool fun fact, I have no idea what that means.
I am so glad because I'm about to explain it to you. I feel like an acolyte, and give me your opinions as well, Chad, if you would like to. But I feel like an acolyte is probably one of the one of the backgrounds I always consider using for any character I make for no reason at all. I don't know why, but and especially if you're making a cleric, because an acolyte is basically it's like a you're basically like a more like religious, or you've entered into some sort of priesthood at a temple. So a lot of times people, when they play clerics, which are more healing classes, will tend to choose an acolyte because it kind of supports the background that you might have had, which again, background, well, not again, I didn't explain it the first time. Background's basically like what you were doing before you started to go on an adventure. So if your character is a cleric, which is like the healing focused class, doesn't have to be just healing, there's so many different flavors of cleric you can have, but when you're, I guess when your character is like faithful, or even if you're a paladin maybe, which is a faithful like fighter person, you probably were in that temple learning about your god and stuff. And
they
went
to their
being
god
like,
church school, and that's what it is. Very cool.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, so that's fun. I can write and speak, not at the same time though.
I can speak and not write. And that is what I'm currently doing. So I have 13 sets of dice. That's what I have. And most of them are from Dragon's Lair. Again, not a promotion. I just really like them. But a lot of them come from other little stories and different things. One of them's from Etsy. Support some local dice makers. Small
Honestly,
businesses.
I think the dice I find on Etsy and like people's own shops and stuff, so pretty. I only have 7 sets, I think, or maybe 8, and it's only because I'm the kind of person who doesn't just get dice. I like get them for characters.
I understand.
Yes, but they're all very pretty. Like they're all like so. I can't remember where my video is apparently, but like shiny, you know?
It's lovely. I only have one set from Etsy. They're actually my first set, and they're like these like little pink ones.
Pretty.
Yes. So support some local dice makers, if you will.
This is just gonna be the dice centric episode. I hope everyone knows and is ready for it, because
isn't every episode with Michaelie a dice centric episode?
You know, yes, it is, but I'm just gonna say it now.
This is not to call out Michaelie. It's so that I don't feel called out. I'm deflecting what I'm saying, because Michaelie has significant.
She does have a lot of dice. I think you're catching up to her though. If not,
I am, because I walk into any store that has dice, and Michaelie's soul overtakes me, and then I leave and I have dice. I black out temporarily while Michaelie takes over, and then I'm out of the store, and I'm like $10 more broke, dice. And I have 2 sets of dice. Yeah,
it makes sense, honestly. If I was closer, like in location, like physically closer to where Michaelie was, I probably would have more dice. Because I would have no reason not to get dice, but I'm distant enough that I just borrow the brain cell sometimes, and then
that's how it works. It's how close you are in proximity to her. I'm much closer to her in proximity than you are, so I'm feeding off of her easier.
Exactly.
That's exactly how it works.
Okay, so for our acolyte background, we get some skill proficiencies. So the things underneath these bubbles, the ability scores, those are skills. The ones we get are insight and religion. So it means we're a little bit better at being insightful and stuff. And of course, we're really good at religion because that's our jam currently. Woo! Yeah. And we actually get two languages of our choice, which of course there is none. So could you roll 2 d20s, and if it's 16 or higher, roll again.
I rolled a 10 and an 11.
Okay. I'm excited to explain what these ones mean. And by that I mean story-wise, why we know them. Um,
Excellent. What do
so
we
we
know?
have, we know deep speech and draconic. Yep.
Interesting. I love that for us. I don't actually know what deep speech is. Um,
Yeah, I'm trying to, I think this is the, let me see. I want to make sure I get this right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's the language of aberrations. Okay. I don't know what that means. We're learning
I,
together, friends. We're learning
excellent.
together
I
always.
love it when this happens. That's the cool thing about D&D. It's so massive that you always learn forever. That you can never know anything or everything, which is the best bit. You're always
And
learning.
you know, it's so what's so wild to me with D&D is that there's so much crowdsourced information uh, that if you're like, oh, I like if you were gonna make a cleric, which we don't know if we're making a cleric just yet, but if you were going to and you were like, oh, I wanna my character to worship a god that's like has to do with the has to do with wolves or like something random. There is probably D&D lore about a god that has to do with wolves, and that's
It's so expansive. You can never know
so
everything. It
expansive.
can never live in your brain forever.
That's
And that's
right. That's right. Mind flayers. Deep speech is related to mind flayers. That I do now. Thank you. Very good.
that's true. I
So
I don't really know
that's
what my players are other than whatever's in Stranger Things, but yeah, I agree.
I will. Honestly this is perfect because I'm gonna explain to you on mind flayers. Knowing so much about mind flayers, I know so ridiculous amount about mind flayers, also known as mind rulers.
I can't
Um,
tell if you're being sarcastic or not. I really can't tell if you're like, I actually know all this information or if you're just like totally BSing me. I have no idea.
so they live in
I'm
the
gonna.
Underdark. They're kind of like aliens, sort of. Um, and they want to, control minds because
Right,
mind flayer, control minds,
right.
and they eat brains.
Like zombies.
Yeah,
Dope.
but they have like
That's all.
tentacle. They have like tentacle faces, like in Pirates of the Caribbean. You
I
know,
see.
the like
That's a wonderful
tentacle.
visual you've given me there.
That's the one. Except it's a
Spectacular.
fancier. It's not dripping wet. It's just like a regular guy. It's not a regular guy. They're lawful evil, so they're pretty smart and stuff.
Right.
But maybe we'll figure out why our lovely Hobgob knows deep speech, and maybe why we also know Draconic, which
I'm excited to find out.
unique things to study. Unique things to study. Some other things that we get as an acolyte. So all of the backgrounds give you some equipment. So we have a holy symbol, which I think we can. Mm, roll a d6.
Excellent. I love D6s. A 5.
A 5.
What did we get? I'm so excited. It could be anything, friends.
Did
Oh no. Oh
the
no.
okay the variation of our holy symbol is a reliquary, which
Is I don't.
My brain says that that's a place and not a thing, but if I'm wrong, please.
Let us know.
Oh,
I don't.
it's like a container.
Oh.
It's like, so our holy symbol is like a container that can hold relics. Okay, so it's just,
Oh, I see. It can just hold other old things.
yes.
Nice.
I don't know if that's preferred or not. It's gonna be
But
it's
it's
gonna be
what they
what we
have.
got though. It's what we got. Okay. All right. So we got a reliquary for our holy symbol, which was a gift that we were given upon
Ooh,
becoming a priest.
I see.
Um, could you roll a d4?
Yes, I can. A one.
So we got a prayer book.
Very cool. This is the only time I'm not stressed out about nat ones.
Yeah, honestly, that's I it's a great feeling to be rolling for a character because sometimes the one is the cool thing. We also get 5 sticks of incense.
Nice. Yeah, I've got my little buddies here all set out. They're all just waiting for their turn to roll for these characters. They're all excited.
Do you
Um,
do you put them in jail when they're bad?
yes, I do. Um, I'm a preschool teacher out in the world. That's my real life. And at some point, one of my students painted me a pot, but it's an incompletely painted pot, but I thought it was beautiful. And I didn't have a purpose for it because I'm not a plant person. So
Mm-hmm.
it has become dice jail. It makes a very good sound when they go to jail. I'm going to put one in, but he's not going to stay there. Makes a wonderful sound.
That is very good.
Um, yes, a lot of dice had to go in jail my last session. They weren't being very nice to me, but it was a very long session, so they were probably just getting tired.
Makes sense, makes sense. Well, in the meantime, I did add that we also have vestments, a set of common clothes, and a pouch with 15 gold, which is pretty good as far as the stuff that we get.
Yeah.
Also, as an acolyte, you generally will get a feature. So our feature is Shelter of the Faithful, which means that we other people who practice the same faith we're respected by them. So when we're traveling around, we can receive free healing and care at a temple of the same faith. Let's see. And they will support us specifically, like people will respect us and like support us. And let's see. If we have ties to a specific temple, we can have a residence there. And let's see.
Oh,
Yeah, so we have a place to stay. We have a place to crash if we're ever, you know,
wonderful. Friends in high
wandering
places.
around. Exactly, friends in high places. I actually, in the campaign that Michaelie was DMing for a bit, my character had a acolyte background. And the
There.
way that Michaelie did it, she like laid out all of the known like temples of that faith and the surrounding couple towns and places. So it was actually pretty nice because then I had like my character had more reason to like go to those places and
Yeah.
not be treated like a dirty adventurer or something. I don't know.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I love
We
it.
also we also get some suggested characteristics. So we're gonna roll for those. So can you roll a d8 for our personality trait?
Yes. Uh, a 7.
A 7. I've enjoyed fine food, drink, and high society among my temple's elite. Rough living grates on me.
They're pompous. Not a fan of Not a fan of the outdoors, apparently, which I totally understand. Fancy pants. I love it.
Fancy pants. All right. Next, we're going to roll for our ideal, which is a d6.
Wonderful. Boop, 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 boop. A 1.
A 1. Okay. Tradition. The ancient traditions of worship and sacrifice must be preserved and upheld.
It
Makes
okay.
sense. Makes sense. Which,
This
this gives us lawful as one of our alignment pieces. Which is...
What a stuffy little man. Or not man, but character.
We'll find out that part, I think, in a couple rolls. We'll get to their pronouns. But yeah, so we're lawful, which is fun. All this makes sense, as we like to say. Let's figure out if we are good, neutral, or evil. So can you roll a d6 for alignment?
5.
A 5?
Yes.
Hold on.
Oh no.
This chart doesn't make sense. We're lawful. You rolled a 5. Good, neutral, and evil would be the thing, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh no. You said 5?
Yes. What did I do wrong?
You did nothing wrong, but I guess our Hobgob's evil.
No.
Awful evil.
I'm okay. If that's their life, that's fine. But dang.
We've been rolling so many evil characters lately.
The vibes are simply off. The vibes are simply not it for our characters, apparently.
You know what's an interesting mind flayers are also lawful evil.
Maybe they're friends.
Yep.
Maybe that's how they know D-speech. Maybe they're just homies.
Maybe we're trying to be homies with the mind flayers.
Maybe, yeah, it's an attempt. It's a, what is it? It's an olive branch of attempted friendship, knowing the other's language.
Yeah. We want to extend that branch to that flaying guy who might eat our brains. It's all right.
It's all good. It's all good in the
Totally chill.
No worries.
Okay, let's roll for our bond. It's a d6.
Wonderful. I'm gonna grab this one. Oh, I'm gonna drop it. Ashley drops it.
Amazing.
2.
A 2?
Yep.
Oh no. Okay.
What happened?
I will someday get revenge on the corrupt temple hierarchy who branded me a heretic. Okay.
It's not a very happy character.
You know, maybe we I don't know, maybe we push this all down. I don't know. Are we repressing our revenge plot? Who knows? Maybe we'll be another big bad evil guy.
Maybe.
All right.
Uh-oh. Again, uh-oh. Thank you, chat. I agree. Once again, uh-oh.
I don't know if we can justify this. Who knows? We haven't even gotten into it yet. But I feel like Quilliam. I knew he was chaotic. I knew they were chaotic evil, but I still supported them. You know what I mean? I wonder.
Yeah.
If this Hobgob friend is gonna be
able to be validated. Yeah. All right. Flaw. What am I rolling?
A d6.
Okay, we'll do this one. And a 3.
A 3?
Yep.
Okay. My piety sometimes leads me to blindly trust those that profess faith in my God.
That's not
Hmm.
that's not a very good thing.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe someone wronged us in our blind trust that
Mayhaps we
helped us
wrong.
along this path, maybe?
Yeah. Someone pretended or lied about their faith in our God, and then we felt betrayed by that, which I totally understand. I totally understand.
Mhm. Mhm. All right. Okay. Cool. Great. Love it. If sorry, what?
I said excellent.
So if we want a little bit about Acolyte, I just saw some more information just to make sure that we have all the have all the info. So we've spent our life in the service of a temple to a specific god or pantheon of gods. We act as an intermediary between the realm of the holy and the mortal world, performing sacred rites and offering sacrifices to conduct worshippers into the presence of the divine. We don't necessarily have to be a cleric. It's not the same thing as channeling the divine power, sort of thing. Something to think about. We can consider if we want to pick what this hobgoblin's god is, or I guess the details of that as we keep going. So, if anyone has any thoughts as we go, feel free to shout them out or
Drop them in chat.
drop them
And
in
while you're
chat.
down there, follow, sub
Yes.
if you can. Do
Yeah.
what you gotta
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
While you're there, I'm just
While you're
saying.
there, you might as well. It's really it's really cute here. So, it'll always be cute.
We have
Even
fun
when we
here.
have those lawful evil characters, it'll be cute somehow. Okay.
Awesome.
Let's see. We're going to roll for our Oh, let's roll for our gender. Could you roll a d6?
Yes. We're gonna do this one because it's the most gender neutral looking one. I rolled a 4.
A 4. Okay. Let me see. I asked for the roll, but I didn't I wasn't prepared. Which is
That's
the
okay.
best.
I understand.
Okay, a
Fine.
4?
Yes.
This hobgobs a man's with he they pronouns.
Oh, wonderful. Man adjacent, if you will. Man asterisk.
Yes, yes, yes.
Wonderful.
Honestly, vigilante vibes. I feel it.
I agree. Vigilante vibes seems like it could be it. Thinking
Yeah,
they're on the right, especially because they're lawful. I understand.
right.
It makes
Exactly.
sense.
They've
Chat's
got a
putting it
reason.
together. Chat's putting it together.
Absolutely. Okay, let's roll for the first letter of our name. So that's a D100.
Excellent. I'm not gonna read it wrong this time, I promise.
Totally okay.
38.
38.
30. Yes.
Okay, okay, okay. So our name starts with a J. So
Wonderful.
give us some suggestions in chat. We'll look at these a bit later, or we'll pick ones a bit later. But yes, the name starts with J. This hobgob, evil corn on the cob guy. Okay.
I have faith. I have faith that we can make sure it's all slightly redeemable.
Slightly redeemable, absolutely. Okay, so actually we're gonna roll for our class now.
Yay! That's my favorite bit.
Yeah, so it's a d20, which is the funnest dice to roll, to me, at least.
Bad boys. A 7.
Okay, we are a monk.
Wow, it makes so much sense.
It really
Oh
does.
my goodness, it's getting put together. Thinking about my lovely Lady Beauregard right now. Thinking about her.
Yeah,
For those who are not in the know, a character in the podcast Critical Role, which is a very good D&D podcast in the current, Guess it's not the current campaign anymore. It ended a little bit ago, but in campaign 2, there's a character who is a monk, and she is legit pop pop. She's the bestest, and I'm just thinking about her now that we've rolled a monk.
Naturally. As you should, honestly. So,
Yay.
the thing about monks is that we're going to do right now is their proficiencies and their saving throws so that we can figure out where we want our numbers to go for our ability scores, which we're about to do right now. So, as a monk, our saving throws in strength and dexterity are proficient. So that's this guy and this one. This just means that mechanically we could get a little extra bonus when we roll with strength and dexterity. But before we get into what monks do and are and which flavor of monk we want to be or we're going to be, we're going to roll for those ability scores, which in my opinion, I don't know about you, Mia, but that's the most confusing part to me, and it always has been until now, honestly. The last couple.
I'm going to be completely honest. This is the first time that I'm actually rolling for ability scores on a character because I did standard array for my first character, which is, for those who aren't in the know, is just a set of numbers that you use and you can move them around to whatever fits your character best, what you're creating for like things like proficiencies and like the extra bonuses. So it's just a set of like number for each one. But when that's like standard array, I don't actually know what the standard array is. It's on my character sheet, but I'm not gonna look at that right now. But this is actually the first time I get to roll for ability scores, so I'm gonna get to like really do the math for real this time.
For real this time, and I'm gonna get to know exactly how to do the math and not forget.
Excellent. Putting it to use.
I will be here, knowing exactly what to do. The authority on this topic, this stream. So,
I'm so proud of us.
I'm honestly, me too.
And 4d6 is ready for you.
I am so happy. Okay, so the way we're doing this, as Mia was saying, is where you roll 4d6 and you take out the lowest number, and then you do that 6 times for all 6 ability scores, and then you can kind of figure out where you want to put them. And then we'll do some happy fun math times, and then it'll be great. So can you roll 4d6 and drop the lowest and then add those together for me?
Yes, 4d6 and drop the lowest. That's a 10 for you.
Amazing, amazing.
And I roll again?
Yes. Yeah, 10's like the average. That's like when we're thinking about abilities and how good we are at something, 10 is like the baseline. So we're baseline good at something, which is good.
A 12.
12. Cool.
And third roll. Ooh. A 16. That one's high.
That one's very good.
Number 4. And this one. A 15.
Oh, okay.
Okay, this is number 5. Got that bad boy. Oh, I wish I knew how to do math better. 12, 13, 17! Whoa!
Okay.
Abilities. Wow. I really like me today, I guess.
Oh my gosh. My dice are never this kind to me.
And a 13.
Okay. I was worried with the 10. I was like,
maybe this is a sign from the dice gods that for the next time I make my own character by myself, I should just roll for my ability scores instead of using standard array. I have cooler characters.
Honestly, I agree. Okay. So,
math.
What do we want to be our lowest? Do we think we're really charismatic?
I don't know. I feel like if you work in a church, you should be slightly charismatic, I think. Just because, you're supposed to talk. If he's like a priest.
That's true. I guess I'm trying to think about what our, as they call it, the dump stat, the stat that we
Yeah.
care about the least for our character.
We could dump it on intelligence because it gets a +1.
That's true.
That way it'll bump it up just a little bit. But we could also just leave it alone and
Hmm.
on one of the other ones.
That's true.
Hmm. Don't know, chat. What does chat? Do we have any opinions on what our dump stat should be? This is
What is
also because
our
I've never done this kind of,
yes? Yeah,
format
yeah.
of creating like ability score. I really have no idea how this should work. Like
Oh,
what
of
a dump
course, of
stat
course. And
should
there's
be.
really no like right way. When we're looking at these, we might think like, "Oh, well, because we're a monk, we're better at strength and dexterity, so maybe we should put a higher number there." But really, because not only does putting a higher number there benefit us, but as we continue, there's some like mechanical stuff that monks have that are supported or calculated with dexterity and strength.
Yeah. I'm thinking like mechanically, like how would this work? But since I don't know how monks are played at all, like in
Right.
general, I have no idea what the dump stat should be.
Hmm.
I'm really feeling that intelligence for whatever reason. I just feel
Yeah.
like that should be the one to take the L.
Let's do it then. Let's do intelligence. We're smart, but we're not
We're
like the
not a genius.
total genius, which
We're not a wizard, you know.
not
You
a
know
wizard.
what
That's so true.
I mean?
We can't we can't problem solve that well.
We can't
It's
all be
fine.
wizards.
We
Sometimes the
get
world needs a couple of fists. You know what I mean?
we we told this actually makes sense to me because we're so trusting with our piety,
Yeah,
but we're
that
not
makes sense.
smart.
We
We're
wouldn't
not
be smart
smart.
enough to be able to detect when people are lying to us.
Exactly, exactly. Okay, okay. All right. So, let's see. Hmm.
What are we
If
looking at?
we
Yes.
so we want to we're a little charismatic.
I feel like ever so slightly, just to make
Okay.
sense with the storytelling of being in a church and all that.
Right, right. Do
Um,
we think the 12 should go there, or do we want like to be kind of really charismatic?
I think the 12 is fair in the
Okay.
charisma. I think it's fair. That'll end up being an okay-ish stat, an
Right,
okay-ish
right.
modifier, if you will. And I think that's a good spot.
That's a good spot. Okay. So, I know for monks because I have my I haven't the secret. Don't tell anybody. The secret is I haven't actually played D&D in a couple months. Don't tell anybody though. It's a secret. But still I'm doing this podcast. It's fine. Um, but the
It's
character
fair. Yes.
the character that I have for the campaign that I hope eventually we'll go back to is a monk. And
Very nice.
if I'm remembering correctly, things beneficial to us are dexterity and constitution.
Hmm.
Because if I'm remembering correctly, which again, it doesn't necessarily matter if our if we are optimized, as some might say, we can make a character that has terrible dexterity, and then we'd be an abysmal monk, and it would be totally fine and fun.
Yeah,
Um,
because you got to problem solve it up and figure out how to be better at being a monk.
exactly,
It's up to you, friends, when you make characters.
exactly. So, thinking about that, let's put. Oh gosh,
Oh no. Oh
so
no.
this is why decisions are my kryptonite. This is the exact reason why they're just
I really appreciate that the only decisions you guys actually truly make here are the things that are arguably the most important mechanically, which are ability scores.
Yep.
It's very fun here. We have fun here, guys.
We do have
Um,
fun here.
we don't make
I
decisions except for the hardest decision.
Except for the hardest decision. Okay. I can't explain to you why, but I really want to put the 13 in strength.
I'm
Um,
chilling with that.
because I just feel the desire to, because I think, if anything, we're wiser than we are strong.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense character wise. I understand.
So if we put. Okay. Here's where our little +2 guy comes in. We can either be really physically resilient and have a 19 constitution,
Wow.
or we can just have the same dexterity, constitution, and wisdom. Like the same modifier. Well, not the same modifier.
I'm team breaking the game and making this constitution be a 19. I just
Okay.
think it's really fun when you have one number that's super huge. I just
Okay.
think, ooh.
I love it.
I'm here for just ever so slightly breaking the game.
All right.
If you can ever so slightly, when you're making your characters, just ever so slightly make one that can just piss off your DM, just a little bit, then you've won. You don't even need to play. I mean, you should play the campaigns; they're excellent. But if you can piss off your DM ever so slightly, you should.
And here we are doing that very thing. What did you say?
I say this knowing my DM is definitely watching the stream. I might face consequences later. It's all good. You
Honestly,
do what you gotta do.
That's a fun part of D&D is the consequences, you know.
Yeah, you never know what's gonna happen.
Exactly. Okay. So we're going to do the math now to get the modifier. I can't speak. Oh my gosh. The modifier. So, we're going to take. Wow, all of these are really. Not all of them are odd numbers, but we're going to take the 16 and do some math. So, you take the 16 and you subtract 10. Because remember, 10 is the average. That'll give us 6. And then you divide it by 2. They are high stats.
They're very
Mark.
high. I rolled very well, Mark. My dice love me. I can explain my whole dice method of how I make them love me after we do some math, if that's something that's wanted.
Of course.
Yay,
So,
+3.
+3 on dexterity. And the obviously, or maybe not obviously, but the even numbers are easier to do when you're calculating stuff. You can also look at a table to figure these out and not think about it at all. But with all of these with all of these odd numbers, you round down. We're not doing 0.5 over here. It's just a round down, so just thinking with our heads, if the 13's down to 12, that means it's also +1.
Woo!
If the 11 is going to be down to 10, so that's 0. 15 down to 14 will be +2.
Nice. In your head, Matt.
And the 19 down to 18 will be +4. Right?
Woo!
Wow. My brain says
I'm a theater major, Claire. I haven't taken a math class since freshman year of college, and that was theoretical math. So I'm not the person to be asking about stat math.
You're right. You're absolutely right. Absolutely 100% correct. All right.
Wow, my dice really love me.
Your dice really do. Tell us about why your dice love you so much, Mia.
Okay, so my dice live in a blue dice bag. I need to get a bigger one because they're going to start not fitting soon. But this is the dice bag they live in. And that dice bag goes with me pretty much everywhere. I take a backpack to work because I work at a school. And they just come with me to school, kind of like a security bear or like a security blanket. They just hang out in my backpack. And then when I'm on my lunch break, I take them out and I sort them out by their little polyhedral groups, and then I sort them out again by their numbers, and then I put them back in the bag, and I do that every single day at least once, so that they know that I haven't forgotten about them. And apparently it's worked because these are some crazy high stats. So show your dice some love today, friends. They'll thank you for it.
Honestly, I may consider doing that. I don't really, to be fair, I don't really go anywhere currently. All of the things I do
If I'm
are
at home,
online.
too, so I like
Maybe
having them out. Sometimes I just take them out of the bag and leave them on my desk just so they can get some air. You know what I mean?
Of course,
I
don't want
treat,
to suffocate them. Of course, of course.
I treat them like pets. Oh, wait, we have a question mark. Are you saying reinforcement, taking the bag with you and sorting them, works better than punishment, throwing them in jail? Yes, I would say so. Because the more dice I put in jail, the angrier the rest of them get, and they roll worse. So
That's
yes,
good.
positive reinforcement is important. I do put them in jail because I do get upset, but positive reinforcement is better than jail. Thank you, Mark.
I'm really glad that you say that because I don't put my dice in jail. And they roll average for me, so I think if I just positively reinforce them,
It'll roll
maybe
better.
maybe they'd roll better. I don't think the D6 is like me though because normally our stats are much lower.
Maybe they're just tired. Maybe they just need a break.
That's a very good point. They could be exceptionally tired.
Maybe after this break of having other people roll and things, maybe they'll feel better. Roll a little
Exactly. Yeah,
high.
and they're right here. My dice they're just hanging out today. They're just having a good time.
So there you go. They're just chilling, knowing they're not doing any of the work.
Exactly. And my little son here is watching them, so nothing can go wrong. I'm here
Mark,
too though.
I appreciate you calling out Michaelie so deeply.
Yeah, me
Thank you
too.
in the chat for saying that Michaelie needs to hear my words of advice about the way I treat my dice. I agree. I understand the jailing method. I do it. I respect it. I just think you have to give them some love. You just got to give them some attention too, you know?
They do
If that.
absolutely deserve love.
Well, we did it. Ability scores. We love math.
Yeah, we did. So actually we're gonna take a quick 10-minute break before we get into more stuff about being a monk and all that cool monk stuff. Um in the meantime though, definitely go grab some water, snacks, restroom, whatever you need. But be brainstorming for that J name for our little hobgob buddy.
Ones.
Because we need a name and it's gotta start with a J. It could be anything, as long as it's appropriate and stuff.
Yes.
But yeah, so we'll be back for after
All right.
a quick break. Yes, it will be good. See you in a bit, friends.
return.
Back and better than ever. I feel like I've said that so frequently because it feels true whether or not it is every time. Okay. So if you missed us in the first half, we have been rolling for this new character. So far they are a hobgoblin, they're an acolyte, they're lawful evil, and they're a monk. And they have 19 constitution, which is just very important to state. It just is.
I'm excited. I'm here for it. I'm ready to find out the rest.
Absolutely. Also, if you are suggesting names in chat, keep doing that. Start with J. We are a he, they. And we'll come around. There's still some time to suggest names. But we're gonna fill out these sunflowers because if you've noticed, it's different. This is a different sheet.
Oh no.
And it's because we're moving on to our class features and traits. No, don't worry though. We can get back to the other sheet. No problem. But we're gonna do our initiative, which initiative is basically how quickly you can get ready to do a thing. Generally, it's combat. It could be something else if your dungeon master, your DM, your narrator person asks you to roll for initiative. That's what this is. So it's how quick on our feet we are. So that translates to our dexterity. So our initiative is just going to be +3 because our dexterity is +3.
Woo! Love that for us. Got
Yeehaw.
a good little initiative there.
And up next, we're going to do our hit points. So most classes have a D8 for their hit dice, which is just the dice you roll for your hit points. And our monk is also one of those that has a heckin' D8. So we're making level 3 characters, which I don't think we stated at the beginning because I forgot. But the reason we're making level 3 character is just because that's normally the level that you have. You get to decide your subclass, like the flavor of what your class is, and we wanted to kind of include that in our story building so we got a more full idea of who our character was and is becoming. So we're going to roll for our hit points. So at first level, we actually get the max amount on our hit die, which is an 8, plus our constitution modifier. So
cool.
We're going to start with 12, which is honestly might be higher than some of our characters because we roll pretty low sometimes.
It's true.
But we have 2 more levels to roll for, so Mia, if you could roll a D8.
Yes, I could. I got a 4.
Okay, so and each level you add your constitution, so that's 8, so we're up to 20.
Okay, cool. Nice.
And we're going to do that one more time.
I got another 4.
Amazing.
28, I guess?
Listen, this is why we have 19 constitution. This is not the reason, but this is the reason.
Woo, that HP, baby!
We love the HP. Alright. So, next up, I am clumsy. Next up, I'm clumsy. It's fine. So, one of the things about monks is that we don't wear armor. We generally won't. We don't have any proficiency with armor. It doesn't help us. I think there's certain abilities that we can't use if we have on armor, so We just...
We do specifically have proficiency in light armor, though, because of our
You're right.
race.
Yes, because we
Okay.
are a hobgoblin. Do
Woo!
have we do have proficiency in light armor, but one of the traits about a monk is called unarmored defense, which means that while we're not wearing armor and also not using a shield, then our AC is just 10 plus our dex modifier plus our wisdom modifier. So that means that without any armor, our dexterity is just 15, which is so much higher.
That's a really good AC.
It's honestly...
Is that a higher AC than my actual character's AC? Like mine in real life that I play?
It's very possible. It's definitely higher than a lot of mine.
It totally is. It totally is. By one whole point, it is a higher AC than a character that I play in real life.
Wild.
Wow, what a wonderful character we're building.
I love monks, and I will always love monks, but here we are, continuing to love monks. So that feature, and when writing down your features on your character sheet, it's really whatever you want to write down. I'm gonna write it down, even though we used it on our AC.
But, good. Sometimes you just gotta know what you got. You gotta know why you have certain numbers. Because sometimes you look at it in sheets and you're like, what is this? Why do I have this?
So honestly, I don't even, I do that, and I think I do that on here too. I just write down the title of things, because writing the whole thing down is kind of complicated.
Oh yeah.
If you want to be on one piece of paper. But let's take a look at these names real quick. Just see how we're going.
Yeah, let's look at that.
Would you like to read through them, Mia?
I will be beginning with the first submission, which was Jared, 19. Lovely. Additionally, we have Jam. I think it's like jam, like the fruit thing. Okay. Jareth, the Goblin King. Jonathan Sims, head archivist of the Magnus Institute, London.
Okay.
Jim Henson. Jackson 5.
Okay.
Jafar.
All right.
Jamie Lee Curtis. And then we have Jason, Jax, Jarl Balgruff, Jensen again. Oh no. Yes, just without the begin. It's Jensen, not Jim Henson. Never mind. Jensen. Jafar again. Joe the Cotton-Eyed, and then Jeffrey Bezos, and Jella. Those are all of our current submissions. I've
never heard any of those names before in my life.
I don't know what to do with that, but hey, fantasy names are something else. You know? Fantasy names have to make sense.
Honestly, Jonathan Sims, never knew him. Never.
Who's that?
I don't know. Like, what? Jafar? Jamie Lee Curtis? Who is that? I really love original names, and I'm outstanding. I feel like this is outstanding. These names, they're perfect. They're all.
Particularly a fan of Jeffrey Bezos. Definitely sung in my head to the tune of that one song from Inside by Bo Burnham. I'm assuming that was intended effect. Thank you. I never want to hear that man's name in my life again.
You know, I feel that as well. I definitely. These are I feel like the sarcasm is on thick today, and I hope that's fun time for you as much as it is for me.
No, it's great. I love it here. I'm having a great time. So which ones do we like? Which ones do we are true fans of?
All right. True fans. Is it Jom? Is it Jam? What is the...
I think it's Jom. I think it's supposed to be named after a character that the McElroy brothers make in Monster Factory.
Are any of these...
original?
Are any of them actually original?
I think some of them might be. I think the ones that I don't recognize are, which is like Jarl, I think. Mark, is this an original idea, Mark? Are you an original person? Can this be not? I also am Team Jax. I think Jax is very like to the point.
I do
Jax
like
the
Jax as well.
We've received a winky face in chat, to which I'm assuming is saying yes to the fact that's supposed to be Job after the McElroy brother creation in Monster Factory.
Okay.
I also like Jalal. I think that's what it is. I thought it was an exclamation point, so I read it as Jella, but I think it's an L, so it's Jalal.
Yeah,
which I also think is cool. So I don't know. What are you thinking?
I like, I think I like Jax, Jarl, and Jalal as well.
So we like the original ideas. Go figure, guys.
Yeah, boy. But I'm trying to decide. My brain's like, is Jarl supposed to be like Carl, and is Balgruff supposed to be something with a different letter? And I'm just.
Are we just missing it? Is it just going over our heads?
Is it going over? Is it going over our heads so high? Like last week, someone suggested that we name our Anakin Skywalker character Jedediah, and I was like, oh, Jedediah, and they were like, Jedi, Dia, and I felt like I needed to leave because I didn't catch it.
Jarl is pronounced Jarl, and it is a title similar to a king. I really hate that. Terrible.
Let's kick it out. All right, we're down to Jackson.
And Jalal. I think Jalal is funny. I think Jax is a real name. Those are my only two opinions. I love them both.
Do we want to Oh, all right.
Listen,
are any of these real? Are any of them original? Please.
I feel like Jax is an original name. Jalal.
This mirror thing is freaking me out. This screen mirror.
I understand. It's quite just. Jalal is a real name, in fact. Wonderful.
What if we do we
can make first name and last name.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Which one is first?
I would say Jax would be first.
Jax, Jalal, Jax. Listen, chat. Listen, chat. We're gonna move on. We're gonna come back to these names when they're original. Okay. All right, friends.
Unite, man.
This is the kindest finger guns that you could ever see.
There's hearts
not threatening. There's hearts at the end of them. Look at those hearts. They're right here. Oh, they're right here. So we're gonna learn a little bit about monks, and then we're gonna be back.
Excellent.
I
would love to learn about monks.
It is pretty. I do still like Jax though, but maybe we'll have a full name there. But if Jax is also, I mean, I guess all names are unoriginal, right?
Yeah, I was just saying like.
But if they're,
but like, it's different than naming culture, a character Jeffrey Bezos.
Exactly, that's very true. All right. We'll come back to this. Monks though, they're so cool.
Give me some facts about monks.
All right. So first off, we don't except for light armor because of our race. Being a hobgoblin, we otherwise don't have any armor proficiencies. We do have proficiency with simple weapons and short swords, though. So let me just. Nice. And we also, I forgot. Listen, some of these classes that you roll, especially druids, have proficiency in so many things.
For space.
What was that?
Like that you would have to make more space for them.
Yeah, and it's also just a lot to write down. monks have so little in terms of like
Because
weapon and tool proficiencies, but we
they're
do
mostly
have
fists.
right, we do have our fists, and it's just that's it, nothing else.
That's good enough, you know?
We do have either one type of artisan's tools or a musical instrument proficiency. So, could you roll me? Actually, you pick any dice, anyone you feel like has been wanting to be rolled. I'll just do an even odd
I
for that.
feel like the D12s haven't gotten any love today, so I'm gonna grab a D12.
All right.
Just because they have my heart. I rolled a 2.
Okay, so that means we get a musical instrument.
Yay.
So there's a lot of musical instruments you could use, but we're gonna go off of just the one I have in front of me, which is a 10. So can you roll me a D10?
Yes. I was like, where did I put those? But they're just hanging out over here. I have rolled a 1.
Okay. We're proficient in bagpipes.
That's low-key pretty dope. I think we should definitely be proficient in bagpipes. I think that's the coolest thing. If that's just, I don't know, chat, drop some bagpipe love in the chat, you know? I think bagpipes deserve some love. I have no idea how it's played. I don't understand it musically. I don't care. It's a cool instrument.
Isn't it just like I don't want to claim to know anything about
I have
about
no idea
bagpipes,
about
but
bagpipes.
I do love my only association with bagpipes is Scotland. I do love Scotland so much I would live there in a heartbeat.
There
So,
you go. I just think
amazing.
all musical instruments deserve a little. I think it's a very underappreciated instrument, and I think it deserves some love. So drop some bagpipe love, my friends.
Absolutely. All right. So we also get 2 skills that we get to choose from, but we're not going to do that. So instead we're going to let me see if we have 2 of these. So that will be a D4 or 2D4 actually.
2d4. Oh, I love it when I get to roll 2 dice at once.
Yes, it's the best feeling.
I have rolled a 1 and a 2.
Ooh, a 1 and a 2. All right, cool. Yep, we are proficient in acrobatics and athletics.
Nice. Which is pretty convenient, actually.
Yeah, it is really convenient. I feel like
No, mechanically.
it's very good. It's very good mechanically. It makes me happy. All right, jumping right. Well, maybe not. Yep. Jumping right back. We get to start with either a short sword or any simple weapon. So let's again, any dice you feel wants some love. Just go ahead and roll it.
Just any general dice?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna roll this d8. I have rolled an 8. It really wanted to.
All right. So that means we are going to have a simple weapon, which, if you could roll
This is the best
a d20, and if it's 15 or higher, roll again.
I got a 3.
A 3? Oh,
Yeah.
we have a great club.
Cool.
That
sounds violent.
Fun.
I
yep,
love it.
It sure does. All right. Cool. So we've got a great club. And we also get another roll whatever dice.
I'm gonna roll this d6. And I got a 4.
Okay, so that means we get an explorer's pack.
Nice. Not to be confused with the Dungeoneer's pack. What's the difference? I haven't figured it out yet. I haven't read enough.
There's I think the first 2 or 3 characters that I made, I wrote every single piece of what's in any pack that I've had. And it always filled up the equipment section in my character sheet, like the regular standard one that you can find. But really, you probably won't use it, like all of it, unless you're trying to be super crafty with something, or
Well,
if you need the
really the
rope.
most important thing are like rope.
Yeah.
Which I don't think my character has rope anymore. I think my character does not. I think we perma broke some of it, or at
Oh
the very
no.
least I have most of it. At the
Yeah.
very least I have most of it. I just don't remember. I don't think I wrote it down.
Okay.
Arguably I should have. I don't it's my first campaign. My notes have to get better. You
Right.
know?
Yeah. Yeah, and that makes sense. Like you kind of figure out what style works best with your DM and the way that they tell the
Yeah.
story and the way you take notes and what notes are important.
And what
Personally,
I
my notes I take are so irrelevant and they're describing things that I don't need to remember.
yeah, it's like, oh, and then you do all of that work and you miss the most important bits.
Exactly. Exactly.
What
All
is
right.
next?
Next up, we are going to. Oh, we also have 10 darts, by the way. Darts
Nice.
are cool and fun, and ways for us to not have to get up close if we don't want to. But we're going to go through some of our class features and traits. We talked about unarmored defense, which is how we got our armor class. Next up, though, for monks, we have something called martial arts. So we have a mastery of combat styles that used unarmed strikes and monk weapons, which a monk weapon is either a short sword or any simple melee weapon that does not have like the two-handed or heavy property. So when you look up your weapons, you can see if they're heavy or if they're two-handed. So we have a great club, which is a simple weapon. So that is one of our monk weapons. So this martial arts benefit applies to our great club.
Nice.
Yes. So the benefit, which we get while we're unarmed or wielding our great club, and we are not wearing armor or shield, we can use dexterity instead of strength for our attack and damage rolls. So we don't normally write out what the mechanics are for weapons that we have, but something to keep in mind with monk stuff is that instead of adding our strength modifier to our roll to attack and our damage roll for our weapons, we get to add our dexterity, which in this case is much higher than our strength, so yay for us.
Yay!
Yeah. And then another thing we get with martial arts is that we can roll a d4 in place of our normal damage for our unarmed strike or monk weapon, and that die changes as you gain levels, which whenever I made a monk, I was like, oh, a d4. Cool. Yep. That's fun, but it actually increases, I think for the first time at 5th level, to a d6, and then gets to be a d8, and so that's nice because we're training with these hands. We got these hands. We're training with them, and our punches get better, and so do our monk weapons or great club. So we have that, and then lastly for martial arts, when we use the attack action with an unarmed strike or a monk weapon on our turn, we can make one extra unarmed strike as our bonus action. So if we're fighting with our great club, we can also do an unarmed strike, assuming we haven't used a bonus action. We don't
cool.
super go into all of the like combat stuff on anddragons, but those are cool things that you can do with your action
Yeah,
bonus
the
action.
mechanics are pretty cool.
Yes. So that's a lot of information there, but I'm just gonna write martial arts, and we all know what that means now.
We have a general understanding. We have a
Yes.
general understanding as a collective that just means we can kick ass pretty well.
Absolutely. Another thing that we get at second level is called key. Our key points. This
Let's see what
this
I know
is
about monks.
this is the part, I guess, that I don't know if I would say that this is necessarily the only thing that makes us different from I don't know, like a fighter. I wouldn't want to say that because that's not necessarily true, but sorcerers have sorcery points, monks have key points, that sort of thing. They let us do really cool shit all of the time. So, make sure I'm explaining this correctly. We have access to this mystical energy known as ki, and the energy, like the access to it, is represented by the amount of key points that we have. Our level determines the number of points we have, as shown in the key points column. So, anytime you make a character with whatever class, there's a, whether you're looking it up online, or if you have a like the player's handbook or any book that has like the material in it, there's generally a table at the top of the class, whatever class you make, and it has different stuff. Like the lists out your proficiency bonus, your level, features. For monks, we have our martial arts die, and we have our key points, and then we have some movement, which we'll get to in a second. But we have our key points there. So at second level, we have 2 key points, and at third level, we have 3 key points. We can spend these points to fuel certain features. So at second level, we know Flurry of Blows, Patient Defense, and Step of the Wind. And we will learn more stuff as we train and get cooler and whatnot.
Nice.
So, I feel like I'm saying so many things. We're going to keep going, though.
Okay.
So, when we spend a key point, if we spend all 3 of our key points, we cannot get them back until we spend at least 30 minutes like focusing and meditating, that sort of thing. So that's either, a short rest or a long rest. It can either be one of those things where you just know that your character spent 30 minutes focusing, or you can, I guess, maybe communicate with your DM, like, I'm gonna meditate in the morning. And so then if you wake up in the middle of the night, maybe you don't have your key points, but that's the key. It's a lot,
I love
lot of
it.
words.
Sounds excellent.
Key points.
It sounds great.
There's so many
Key
things with them.
points.
But I guess notable, we have Flurry of Blows, which we can spend a key point to use Flurry of Blows if we've... I'm gonna say this again so I don't explain it confusingly. After we take the attack action on our turn, we can spend a key point to make 2 unarmed strikes as our bonus action. So instead of 1, we get a flurry. So that's the, pop pop, right? Amazing.
Thinking about her today.
Absolutely. Thinking about Beauregard. Alright, so Patient Defense, we can spend a key point to take the dodge action as a bonus action on our turn, which just means that we are focusing on dodging, defending. Patient Defense, we're focusing on that sort of thing. So any attack made against us has disadvantage, so you roll 2 dice and you take the lower one. There's also another benefit with that, with dodge. You get, if you can see the attacker and you make a dexterity saving throw because of something they're doing, you get advantage. So that's fine.
Nice.
And then Step of the Wind, you can spend a key point to disengage or to use the disengage or dash action as a bonus action on your turn. And your jumping distance is doubled. So just really, monks
Nice.
are just
So
cool.
just some
They're
powerful things with their bodies.
Honestly, I love monks.
I
I
would
don't
love
know
to.
why I wouldn't be honest, but what were you saying? I think I cut you off a little bit.
Oh, I was just saying I would love to play a monk one day. I think it's the only fighter class I would play.
Me too.
I'm just personally not a big fighter class type vibe. Love me my ever so slight magic, but monks are pretty dope. I think monks have enough things to make up for the lack of magic, and if anything, they could be better than magic users, depending on how your party plays and what your story is.
It's very good that I'm here with you today and not Michaelie.
Michaelie would have beef with that.
Michaelie really um doesn't, or at least maybe that's changed. I don't know. If you're watching this, Michaelie, let me know. Tell me to my face. Tell me next time I see you on stream. But she plays less magic users than like fighting classes. I think her favorites are barbarian because you get to rage and
I would like rage.
be a tank and just punch and fight and stuff.
I mean, if that's a player's like dope vibe, I totally respect it. I'm just personally more interested in versatile magic users who have skills additional to magic. Um, but I think monks have enough things that like I look at them and I'm like, yeah, I would definitely play this over a magic user or like a main spell casting like
Yeah.
super big boys with all the power.
Yeah. No, I
No.
totally agree. And that's probably that's not the only reason I'm playing a monk in our other campaign, but it's one of them. It's definitely one of them. They're
I
very
just think
cool.
they've got enough things going for them that they are a pretty dope class.
Exactly,
And
exactly.
and now I will get off of my everyone should play a monk high horse. I've never played a monk in my life. I just think they're really cool.
But here we are telling you to play one because they're cool, as we're learning right
Might
now.
as well, just for funsies.
Of course.
We're living
Alright, so something else about monks that I didn't say in all the things I said is that some of our key features require the target to make a saving throw to resist the effect. I don't think we get those just yet, but we do have a difficulty class saving throw to calculate real quick. So our key save DC is 8 plus our proficiency bonus plus our wisdom modifier, which is going to be 8 plus 2 plus 2. So that'll be 12.
Oh,
12!
nice.
Amazing. Beautiful. I love it. Alright. Next thing we have as a monk is called unarmored movement. So at second level, our speed increases by 10 feet while we're not wearing armor or wielding a shield. And this bonus will increase as we increase monk levels, as shown on that handy dandy monk table that I mentioned. So our speed is actually 40.
Wow, that's so much. Ooh, monks would definitely upset DMs.
Yep. I think mine I think mine does.
I think that's awesome.
Yep.
I once again back on my you should just ever so slightly piss off your DM high horse. I just think you should, and I think monks are a really good class to deal with.
Yeah, it's absolutely true.
Because this
Something
low
else?
key sometimes.
Something else that is probably frustrating that monks have is called deflect missiles. We get it at third level, so we can use our reaction to either deflect or catch the missile when we're hit by a ranged weapon attack. When we do so, the damage that we take is reduced by 1d10 plus our dexterity modifier plus our monk level. So
Wow.
So that means that when someone's shooting an arrow or a dart or anything at us, if we have not used our reaction yet, we can say, I'm gonna deflect missiles, and then you You roll your d10, and we would add 5 to that. So it potentially
That's
could
so
be
cool.
negating 15 hit points. Which
That could be like one back. That's so cool.
it's so cool. And if you reduce the damage to 0, you catch it. And if you have a hand free, and it's small enough for you to catch, and then you can spend a key point to throw it back.
That's it. That's so cool.
Yeah.
God, monks are dope. This is more about monks
monks.
than I've ever actually known. Because watching someone play a monk is not the same as learning how to play a monk.
Mm-hmm.
This is so much. This is so cool. Wow. Ah, so
Amazing.
cool.
Yeah,
Monks
I
are
think
cool.
that part is especially. I recall using this while we were fighting some goblins, and they threw a spear at me or something, and I caught it and threw it back, and I felt happy. But I don't
Lovely.
think my DM did. Not my DM. But that's all right. Here we are. But it's all in good fun. Slightly frustrating our DM. It's all in good fun and not excessive because we're all here to have a good time.
Yeah, we're all here to have fun, tell a story. If anything, the DM will learn how it plays well enough to make it more difficult and make monks a little less problematic.
Absolutely.
If that's a player to have in your party.
Absolutely.
All in good fun.
All in good fun. All right. Next up, we get to pick our subclass, which for monks is called the monastic tradition. So, let's roll. Let's roll the d10. And
Yay!
if it's a 10, you have to roll again.
Dang. Okay. 1.
A 1. Okay. All right. This is a way of the astral self.
Whoa.
Do I know lots about this? No. But here we are, and we're learning. And it's going to be a fun time. Self. All right.
Yes.
Way of the astral self. Let's see. Do we have, just before we jump into this part, where are we on this name situation?
It seems that they're really, really here for the combo of Jax and Jalal.
All right.
But I guess the first name, last name order can really be up to us.
What do you prefer?
I think since Jax is the shorter name, it should go first, but I'm a little biased. My name is also 3 letters.
Oh, well then it has to be the first one.
Oh, then there we go. Easy decision making. Let's go.
Yeah.
Easiest decision I've ever made in my life.
Amazing. So
wow.
Now I have
that
to
was so
figure
good,
out
guys. Well, we
who
have a
this
name
anime
now.
character is.
Yeah, drop in the chat what anime this is from. Claire's getting into anime, like super for real. So drop what anime this is in. I'm really here for the.
I don't like how the A is sitting in the 2 L's. I need to fix it.
I think it's cute. I think it adds some flavor to our character sheet.
All right. It looks like the A is a little baby in the middle. You know what I mean?
I love it. It's so cute. It's so
Amazing.
cute for our lawful evil character.
Yeah, it's really good. It's totally the best.
The name is from Fairy Tale, as we've been told in chat.
All right, I'm gonna hold on. I have so many sticky notes. Gotta write it down.
Yeah, that's that watch list. Go Claire.
Yeah. One day I'll just talk about all of the anime I've been watching, but now is not the moment.
There's not that day.
Okay. Way of the astral self. I'm probably just gonna read through it so that we don't miss anything.
Excellent.
Yes. All right. So, a monk who follows the way of the astral self believes their body is an illusion. Their key is a representation of their true form, an astral self. So the astral self has the capability to be a force of order or disorder. With some monasteries training students to use their power to protect the weak, and other instructing aspirants in how to manifest their true selves in service to the mighty. Okay. Maybe we're on a quest to determine our true self, and it's maybe not as good as one might expect.
Sometimes it's not.
Okay, let's see. So one of the features that we get is called Arms of the Astral Self. So our mastery of Ki allows us to summon a portion of our astral self. So as a bonus action, we can spend a Ki point to summon the arms of our astral self. When we do so, each creature of our choice that we can see within 10 feet of us must succeed on a dexterity saving throw or take force damage equal to 2 rolls of your martial arts die. Alright, so for
D8?
Right now it's I think it's a D4.
Because we have to level it up. That's true.
Right. Yes.
Remember.
So then for 10 minutes, these spectral arms hover near your shoulders and surround, or they can surround your arms. So either it's like your arms look beefier, or there's an extra arm, or there's extra arms, or they're
additional arms onto your, like this kind of thing, like they're on top of each other.
Yeah, so it's either like you pop culture reference. I can't think of one. You know,
I don't have.
It's either like the energy is like around your arms, or it's like a separate arm itself.
Very cool.
Whatever flavor we want. So also, we can determine everything about the arms, their appearance. Well, not everything about the arms, but we can determine their appearance and if they vanish if we are incapacitated or if we die, sort of thing. And then we also get some benefits when our arms are vibing out there. We can use our wisdom modifier in place of our strength modifier when making strength checks and strength saving throws, which would be great because our wisdom is higher than our strength.
Excellent.
The spectral arms can make unarmed strikes. And when we make an unarmed strike with our arms, our reach is 5 feet greater than normal because they're spectral and stuff.
Very cool. They float.
Very, very cool. They float. And then our unarmed strikes that we make with... So the actual unarmed strikes with the arms, we can use our wisdom modifier in place of strength or dexterity, which we might not want to do because our dexterity is bigger than our wisdom. But in a situation where our wisdom became higher and we wanted to use that, or if we wanted to go back and kind of move around our ability scores now that we have more information, then we could maybe make wisdom a lot higher because it seems like when we're channeling these arms, it's wisdom. Cute, fun. That's so much stuff.
It is.
I'm gonna just write down the one title though. Here we are.
I accept it. Because if you wanted to look these things up, you could just Google them. There's lots of online resources, like Friday tools. The Reddit's super helpful. Everything's available for you out in the world if you want it.
Absolutely. Let's see. So another thing, just a note about the forms of our astral self. So it's an embodiment of our monk's soul. It can reflect aspects of our background, ideals, flaws, and bonds. And it doesn't necessarily have to look anything like our monk. So for example, if we were like really lanky and that sort of thing, maybe our astral self looks like a minotaur, like some like really strong, like gigantic thing. It could also be the opposite. So if we look really strong, maybe our astral self looks delicate and like more graceful than we are. So, okay, this is actually a cool story beat because we can think about maybe what Jax feels about how their like true form looks.
Yeah.
I'm actually so excited to think, because so we're thinking about, we'll be thinking about quirks that define us. If we're like obsessed with something, like what's our desires, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
All right, so let's think about that. Let me just see if there's any more things at 3rd level. I think that's the only one. Okay. Cool. This is so fun. Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay. Next up is my favorite part. It's the potato.
I didn't know what this was, and I had to ask Claire on break. And now you guys get to know if you're new here.
Yeah, so the potato. I love it so much, and I talk about potatoes all the time. If you didn't know that, then now you do. But so all of these tables that we're rolling on, Michaelie has made, or not necessarily. So she's made them by pulling from source material that's available everywhere. But we were like, you know, we're story building too. It would be so cool if we had a table that kind of helped us figure out some flavors that our character might have, just some fun stuff, you know. So we created the potato. It stands for Personalized Obscure Traits About Tenacious Onions. Because we're ogres, and ogres have layers like onions, and
the fact that you made me listen to a Shrek reference in our Lord year of 2021.
Yeah.
I feel disrespected, but I'm also thoroughly impressed.
It just slips in there, you know?
I understand.
Because the thing is, Michaelie and I have this joke about potatoes from a production that we were in every year of college. And it involved repeating the word potato over and over again in a specific format. And so when we were thinking about what to name this chart, potato only felt right.
I understand.
And then to make it make sense, you know, they're personalized obscure traits. So all of these are like random traits that a character might have that Michaelie and I's chaos brains have decided exist. And it's about tenacious onions because, you know, our characters are tenacious. They have goals and stuff. They got places to be, things to do with their lives. Yeah. Some of these are really weird. Some of them might not make sense. But we're going to roll for a couple. So, Mia, if you could roll a D100.
Uh, 96.
Whoa. That's a high number. Let's see. Okay, this is a physical trait. We're completely bald.
Oh! No hair. Nice.
Yep.
I love that for us.
It's very great. All right, roll another.
10.
10? You should play a cleric. Okay. We are the oldest of 12 kids.
Wow. That's so many. No wonder he decided to go to the church. No other way to escape then.
That's so true. All right.
That was really bad, but like, no.
Well, you know, there's a lot of people too.
Big families, you know?
Yeah. Ooh, maybe that's... we'll get to this in a second. One more roll on the D100 roll.
81.
81. Okay.
What is it?
Like I said, some of these don't make sense, but maybe it does make sense that I'm just being critical. We're a hairstylist.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know what it means.
I don't know what opinions I have on that, if any. But it's there.
Maybe this is just one of our hobbies, one of our interests.
We make
Random
money,
quirks.
on the side when we're
Yeah,
exploring.
yeah.
I understand.
Cool, cool. Okay.
Adventures kind of have side hustles.
You're absolutely right. And we can always do everyone's hair for them.
Exactly.
It's great. Okay. Let's review what we have so we can think of some backstory vibes. All right. So, as a reminder, this page is less filled out because the name's not there, but it's fine. So, we are Jax. We're Hobgoblin. We're a monk of the astral self. Lawful evil acolyte. We have martial training, so we do have proficiency in that great axe, longsword, and light armor. Saving face, so we like to be seen as like impressive to our friends and to our allies. Our holy symbol is a reliquary. It's a container. We're fancy pants. We prefer to be look well and not be in the dirt and dirty and stuff. We value tradition. We want revenge from our temple that wronged us. And we're really trusting with people who claim to have the same faith that we do. We also speak deep speech and draconic as well as goblin and common. Amazing. We're an acolyte. And we believe that our true form is our astral self. Okay. And we're the oldest of 12 kids. All right.
There's so much.
There's so much.
There's so much.
Do we want to, does anybody have any thoughts about maybe what our
this
faith
is
like
space.
Yeah, if you have any thoughts about what our faith might be, like what God we worship, or actually if I'm wondering if, do you think maybe we always been lawful evil? Because all of these characteristics and alignments and stuff, they aren't strict. It's not like people are not always lawful evil sort of thing, or they're always in this box of alignment.
And your character can change and grow depending on the adventures it goes on. Like, it makes sense. But does anyone have any advice?
What if we, okay, here's a thought. What if we so we're the oldest of 12 kids, right? Maybe our family was more, our family and the faith that we have is associated with them is more like lawful and good, or like lawful neutral maybe. If we're trying to figure out like what kind of faith we had. So we started with this faith that's associated with our family, but maybe as we were discovering our astral self, we tapped into some sort of energy that maybe wasn't as pretty, and we had like some sort of connection with a mind flayer or something that explains why we have deep speech. And so then we just grew into ourselves, but the direction is more evil, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I feel like that makes sense though. Like, I feel like that tracks. Like, a lot of people change faiths or lose faiths sometimes for the better, sometimes on not as great ends. And I think that makes sense. Like, especially if you feel burdened with 11 younger siblings and things, depending on the family. Like maybe the family dynamic wasn't so good. Maybe Jax felt they needed to do more for themselves than they needed to do for their family, needed to separate from them. Maybe this was the only way they felt they could. We have some messages in chat. Let's see. Homie is considered evil because they realize some things are wrong with the faith they believe in. Oh, that could be a good point. Maybe they're just considered evil.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I think people probably have a very low opinion of mind flayers and
Yeah.
those associated with them.
Yeah.
So maybe, yeah. Could be.
I just think that maybe when one is burdened with so many things throughout their lifetime, I can see the need to devote, if you will, forge a path for yourself.
Right. Let's see. I'm looking currently at the lore associated with hobgoblins and mind flayers to see if we have
Any connections?
any sort of clear like pantheons or gods
Yeah.
and things. Let's see. Again, this is why I think it's so cool. D&D is there's so much written lore about things. So there is it says that hobgoblins once had their own pantheon, but this god of war and rulership killed most of them. So this guy, who is this guy? Give it a. I can't. It's mag. I can't speak. Maglubiet. The mighty one. I don't know. Maybe. Let's see. Although this one is actually. This one's actually evil as well. Like the god itself is evil. So maybe
Okay.
that doesn't make as much sense for. I wonder if there's a. If there's a. Um. the. There's a deity for like mind flayers
Oh.
called the tentacled lord or the great brain. Um. Maybe that's who.
I mean, it connects the two threads.
It does.
It's a
It does connect the
logical,
threads.
it's a logical following.
There
Um,
is.
if it's like it's a great brain, and you have to use your brain to become like an astral slash true self, if you
Do you
would.
think we? Do you think we? Like, do you think it was maybe like? I'm trying to figure out how we. Was our astral self a surprise to us, or was it like one of those like when we finally like were able to, I guess maybe detach in whatever way and like see our true self? Were we so shocked by this, or was everyone around us shocked and we were like, this is right. This makes sense to me. Wonder.
One. I don't.
Something else to consider too is that all of these characters that we've been rolling for every week kind of they seem to fit in this they do fit in the same world. In said world there's a I feel like every character we've rolled there's a tie into this one place. This ancient library that's lost somewhere. And I wonder if this has any ties to it because some of the stuff that we've decided about it is that it's there's some like pretty dangerous texts down there. So I wonder if Jax is also if any of the energy of their self or like anything they're looking for is maybe there, or if I'm just trying to like tie everything in a nice bow and
I feel like that is like logical though, like especially if you're I feel like monks specifically, knowing what I know about monks being just Beauregard, you have to study as well and like learn things in order to become a powerful monk. Like it's not just training physically. You have to like learn and like feed your brain and stuff. So I feel like that would make sense. I feel like it's a logical, especially if he's looking for certain things to make himself or his god more powerful. Then they could
Right.
definitely be on a hunt for that kind of thing. If
Okay.
that tracks.
Okay.
Someone
So,
disagrees,
hmm.
take it up with someone else. No, definitely put it in the chat. Like if
Yeah, yeah. If you have any thoughts on the direction that we're steering.
this is a complex little backstory we gotta weave.
Yeah. Okay,
Arguably the
so
best. So
do we think our family was just like really chaotic and like that's why we maybe were, or do you think it was more, was it cleaner as in like did we just, are we just older than everyone so we just like okay, we're going to just leave and go be our own person, or were we frustrated
I
with
think
them?
being the eldest in any family in any universe, there's some burdens as an eldest child. There's just expectations you're meant to have. And maybe that just got too much. I don't think necessarily it could be that the family didn't want her or didn't love them or whatever. I just think sometimes the pressure is too much and you need to be more of your own person than an eldest. And I think that's important.
Maybe we were having, trouble like focusing on who we are because of all of our
Yeah.
family,
Yeah.
and only after like leaving do we get
Discover our
to
self.
discover our
Yeah.
true self. Yes, 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 yes. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Excellent.
So
Backstory is so hard, y'all.
I feel like I backstory is my favorite part because there's so many possibilities, and I personally love secrets in backstories, like secrets from everyone, and then also secrets from my own character because it's fun. There's no
Fun is arguably
super,
the best.
yeah. Let's see. So we're
I
oldest to 12.
personally have secrets from my party about my character that only my DM knows and I know, and I think it's fun. I think secrets are
Mhm.
great. I
Mhm.
think they make it more interesting.
Mhm. They really do.
Wonderful. Well, if y'all are having a great time, if y'all are making it all the way to 9:30 plus, it's 9:23 right now. If y'all are still pushing forward, drop a little emoji in the chat or something. Hit what is it? Follow? I don't run a Twitch account myself. Hit follow. Sub if
You
you can.
know, I really should know, but
Not obligated to, but if you
yeah, we've got social medias and stuff. I may or may not tweet about potatoes. You have to go and see. But yeah, they're all linked
also anyone out
in
there
our bio and stuff.
with with if anyone's out there with Prime, Amazon Prime, if you will, you get one free sub a month. I'm out here just promoting y'all. You get one free sub a month. Maybe you should make this channel that free sub. I'm just saying. I think y'all have fun here, and it's free. You're already paying for Prime. It's already there, and you have a Twitch account. Just connect them.
Yeah, yeah.
Sub.
I'll
It's
be
2 steps.
totally honest. I know very little about how that works. I don't know if you are actually able to sub to us right now.
Well,
But hey,
it gets
hang
there.
out and
You should
follow
do
us
it.
for the moment that you can. For the moment that you absolutely can.
And then when you can sub, give them that free sub once that's eligible. If it
Yeehaw.
is.
Yeah. So, okay. So we left to find our true self and
Yeah.
became more focused in what we thought was the right path, decided it wasn't our original temple, like thought we were a heretic. Ooh, that's right, they thought we were a heretic. Maybe maybe we were researching, so we leave home, get out of the hair of our family, and we're looking for who we are. We find a temple that we relate to some of the stuff, so we start researching and studying. And we really like researching and studying, so we get in really deep, maybe. And we start researching and studying the more maybe the more dusty texts, the more ancient ones that people don't really open, with maybe some older traditions and views, maybe like lost sort of things. Doesn't really right. Doesn't really fit with the current views of the temple, I guess, maybe. And then that's why they say, "You're a heretic, sir. You should leave." And we're like, "Ah, okay."
I think that's excellent.
All right.
Maybe their current faith is a lost religion, and maybe that's why we can't figure out what it could be or what it is, or maybe we figure it out later, but other people in our universe maybe don't believe in it. Maybe it's just it's just lost. It's too old.
Amazing, amazing.
Nice.
I was like, how do I spell heretic? I think I do understand. It's fine. All right. So, what does our astral self look like? Is it?
I think our astral self has hair at the very least.
Yeah.
I think our baldness is a sore spot, and I think the hairstylist thing comes from a jealousy of hair and wanting to have hair, and instead decides to try and make people's hair look nice as a side gig because they want hair. And maybe their astral self has a nice head of hair. This is like total jokester, by the way. Like, that's total BS, but Claire is still writing it down. And that's what it's like to make a character.
That is exactly what it's like.
Boom. It doesn't have to make total sense as long as it helps you.
Yes.
It's for funsies. Who cares?
For funsies. So, and I mean, that's also a fun quirk. I know a lot of people, when they... the character creation part can be a little intimidating, but the figuring out how to play, if you want to, like, dictate what your character says, or if you want to jump into character, sometimes it's hard to navigate how to do that, aside from separating it from yourself if you want to do that. So sometimes we have silly things like this to help us,
just get a gain on their personality.
Exactly. Wigs. Do fantasy wigs exist? They have to. And they've got to be they've got to be so majestic, honestly. So many options. I love it. I bet you could get an enchanted wig that will float, like some of the Genasi hair, I think, floats like waves in the wind.
I forgot Genasi could do that.
Yeah, it's very cool. All right, so our astral self has hair, but are they? What if? Do you think maybe our astral self, like, looks like a mind flayer? Or, like, our astral, our arms are like tentacles instead of arms.
That would be so cool.
And then maybe maybe those, like, clues about our astral self has kind of directed us.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's great.
Okay. I don't think mind flayers have hair, but
it's okay. It can be like a mix. It can be a
Yeah,
mix.
honestly, maybe it changes. Like maybe at first our astral self is, ooh, what if while we're still living with family, what if it doesn't look anything like us in the sense that it's like so confusing because it's all of these other characteristics about our family because we don't
Yeah,
have time to think about ourselves. So
right.
maybe our astral self like looks like this like weird monster thing that's like got all the interests of our siblings because we don't feel like we know who we are.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I think that's great. I think that's great because I think that's a good thing to like note. Like that's just that's some good character progression style things. Like
Yeah.
character can go on a
And
venture and like
maybe it's
learn who they
still
are.
maybe it still kind of looks like bulky like that. The only and the first thing of us that's on our astral self when we are looking in or seeing it or whatever is that it has hair and we're like, "Oh yes, that's me. That
Yeah,
hair is me. I know I'm in the right direction."
I think that's excellent. I think that's an
Okay.
excellent.
Amazing. Okay, so then and yeah, maybe I get so excited about this part. Okay. So maybe it's like as we're going and we're learning and adventuring and stuff, our astral self is becoming more like us, or it's at least it's changing. Maybe it's changing slowly as we fully like accept ourselves, sort of thing. And so maybe the tentacle arms isn't at first. And this is one of those opportunities for secrets. I feel like it you could when you describe your arms you could describe them in a specific way and then the next time you use them maybe they're different and
Yeah.
maybe not anyone will pick up on that but at some point you're going to describe them as tentacles and someone's going to go wait hold on they're what now.
Yeah. That's great. I love that.
Oh it's very good, it's very good. Okay, wait, I have to write some note about this down in case we ever any if this character is ever used in any capacity we've got to remember things about it,
Of
so
course. Get on that. While you do that, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know, friends. Tell me about your D&D campaigns. If you are in a D&D campaign right now, shout out to y'all because that's hard. I'm in a D&D campaign right now. My brain hurts. And I've only done 2 sessions and there's already too much universe up in here. Um Shout out to my DM because they have way more universe than I do in there. Um, but yeah, this is me, a first time D&D player, telling you guys to get on it. It's fun. It's great. It's just it's a super cool thing you should totally do. And you know, if Dungeons and Dragons is your thing, which I really hope it is, there's plenty of TTRPGs to play out there. There's so many different systems, so many different games. You should do it. Join the club. It's awesome. Just free promo.
absolutely, absolutely. And I think do we have anything else we want to talk about our dear lovely Jacks about their life? Do we think they're headed for maybe I was trying to think if they're headed for the this ancient library, this ominous ancient library that everyone's searching for. Maybe we're not looking for it specifically, but we'll end up there at some point.
I think maybe some part of us that we aren't aware of yet is taking us to it, but we I think at the moment we think our journey is our own and we don't know that that's where we're headed.
Amazing.
I'm a big
Oh,
believer of fate and destiny, and I just think that maybe that's what's going on.
very good. Wild. I love them so much. We made a character.
Oh, that's my number 2, BB.
Number 2. Would you like to transition back to our first our just
Yeah, I'm
duo?
super scared.
All right. Best transition ever. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Do 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 do. It's D&D time. Do 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 do. It's a D&D time.
Amazing. Honestly, today is the smoothest transition.
It's my power. It's just
They're
my
so
power.
good. They're so good.
I'm glad I can.
I've got to channel Mia energy for the rest of our transitions forever.
It's yeah. I'm so happy to do so.
Wild. Well, we made a really cool D&D character. They were evil, but you know, sometimes it happens.
Sometimes it happens.
Yeah. I hope everyone's had a really great time. I've had a super fun time.
I've had a great time. I'm so glad I got to be here. I've been chilling. It's been great. All
Yay!
my dice got a good little play in today. They're very happy. They've been out for a while. So it's all great.
Amazing. I'm very glad to have had you here, Mia. Maybe sometime in the future, Michaelie will be here. I do not know, cannot confirm. But right now I have her brain cell, and that's all I need. Um,
There you go. Wait, so then how is Michaelie getting back from the Great Dust Storm without her brain cell?
you know, I didn't consider that.
Back. Gotta give it back.
Maybe I'll send it back. If she's still stuck in a dust storm, I'll send it back. I don't know how it works, honestly. I feel like the chaos transitions whenever we're on the same call or stream or something, but I haven't seen her in a while, so I've just been holding on to this brain cell, man.
That makes sense.
Does make sense. But you know, depending on circumstances out of my control, Michaelie might be back next week, so look forward to that. And
Hooray!
it's possible that we might be closer location-wise than normal, but we'll see. We'll see if that's if that is in fact true, then be prepared for a lot of chaos next week.
It's gonna be great. I believe in you guys.
Yes. Well, I've loved our chill chaotic energy today. I thought it was very fun. I hope everyone's had a great time giving us all their original names for our lovely Jacks. The best names I've ever seen, honestly.
So much shade. So much shade.
If you did not realize it was sarcasm, it surely was. It certainly was. But it's only because I love all of you, and that's why it's okay.
Well, awesome. Thank you for having me.
Of course. And, I mean, naturally, we always do a nice, fun Texas goodbye, because what other kind of goodbye is there? I don't think we know how to do anything else.
I don't know what is a Texas goodbye just a really long bye?
Yeah, it's like when you say goodbye, and then you don't leave for, like, 30 more minutes, and you're just chatting, and then you're like, oh, goodbye, and then you get onto another conversation topic, so then you don't leave again.
Oh, I thought that was just what it was like to be Hispanic. I didn't know that was the state of Texas.
Oh, really?
That's great.
I mean, I definitely feel
yeah.
it. I feel like there's also a Mississippi farewell, because my mother is from Mississippi, and the goodbye takes more like an hour and a half instead of 30 extra minutes.
No, yeah, I get that.
But I think that's probably in everything, because people just don't like saying goodbye. It's
yeah, no, it's not fun.
It's not fun. Unfortunately, we're here though. So
yeah.
Thank you for being here, friends, and you can follow all of our things. We have Twitch right here. Wow. We also have Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, which is wild. And we also have YouTube, which is where this video will be on Thursday. By Thursday. It'll also be here on Twitch. So if there's that. But also on YouTube, if that's more your jam for whatever reason. But yes. The links are all on our profile. Have a lovely, lovely night. Thank you so much, Mia, for being here.
Of course.
And have a good time. Good time week. Good week. Good rest of your Goodbye.
Yes. Goodbye. Goodbye.